Today on Public Eye News, UP Representative Jack Bergman announced his bid for House Speaker, and later, Chevron announces its acquisition of Hess Gasoline.
Melissa Santur will have your weather forecast, and Taekwon Cox will have your sports recap. I'm Luke Niddle.
And I'm Bradley Seaborg, and this is Public Eye News. House Republicans have dropped Jim Jordan as their nominee for House Speaker following 3 unsuccessful votes last week. It's been 20 days since Kevin McCarthy was ousted from the position, and the House will now start again from square one, holding a closed-door candidate forum today to learn about the candidates. 9 Republicans have announced their bid for the position, including Byron Donalds of Florida and Tom Emmers of Minnesota. Michigan's District 1 Representative Jack Bergman has also announced he would be joining the race on Friday. Bergman, who represents the entire Upper Peninsula and Northern Lower Peninsula, has been in office since 2017. He was formerly a ranking member of the Veteran Affairs Committee and is currently assigned to the House Committee on Budget. In a letter to fellow GOP congressman, Bergman said he was, quote, ready to answer the call for service, end quote. The House is expected to vote on the new speaker tomorrow. And a new factory in Michigan has become a battleground in the UAW strike as they head into their 6th week. The Stellantis plant in Sterling Heights outside Detroit has shut down after almost 7,000 employees walked out this morning. About 28% of the union's members, around 41,000 employees, are currently on the picket lines. Friday, UAW President Shawn Fain said that General Motors and Stellantis will need to propose better revised offers. Stellantis, the latest target of these escalations, is the producer of Jeep and Ram vehicles in the U.S. A statement from the union said that Stellantis had made some of the worst offers in contract talks, despite having the highest revenue among the big 3 automakers. Meanwhile, in a statement given to Public Eye News, Stellantis said they were outraged at the UAW's decision to strike and said, quote, the UAW has decided to cause further harm to the entire automotive industry, end quote.
And the funeral for Samantha Wall, the Detroit area synagogue president murdered in her home this weekend, was held yesterday. The 40-year-old community leader was found fatally stabbed in her home Saturday morning. Wohl was the president of the Isaac Agreed Downtown Synagogue, as well as a former campaign staffer for Attorney General Dana Nessel and a former aide for Democratic Representative Elissa Slotkin. Detroit Police Chief James White told reporters Sunday that investigators are working with the FBI to establish a timeline leading up to Wohl's death. White has also added that there is currently no evidence suggesting that this crime was motivated by anti-Semitism. In a live press conference held by the Detroit PD this afternoon, Chief White stated that there are multiple persons of interest in this case, and they are still working to follow the leads they have as of now, and have asked for patience from the community. The Michigan DNR is continuing work on improvements to state parks across all counties. Muskellonge State Park in Luce County will be upgrading their facilities in Section 3 of their campgrounds. As a result, Section 3 will be closed until June 21st, 2024. Tuquamanon Falls State Park in Chippewa County will also receive an upgrade to their facilities and will reopen on June 21st, 2024 as well. Strait State Park in Mackinac County reopened late last July after 2 new facilities were added to the campgrounds. ChatGPT and other artificial intelligence platforms have led to speculation that AI will eventually take over thousands of jobs currently performed by humans. But AI is also creating a surge of new jobs. Kristen Lazar explains.
Art Zaley is CEO of the DHI Group and the employment website Dice, specializing in jobs for technology workers. He says in the past year, there's been an explosion of businesses looking for employees with expertise in artificial intelligence, from tech industries to banks and insurance companies.
We have roughly 5,000 artificial intelligence job opportunities on the platform today.
Other sites are seeing a similar boost. According to LinkedIn, there's been a 21-fold increase in the number of job postings that mention AI technologies. The DHI Group is looking to hire its own artificial intelligence experts because Dice uses AI to make employment matches.
We're constantly in the market looking for machine learning engineers. Machine learning is effectively allowing the algorithms to constantly perfect themselves behind the scenes.
Victoria Cortan is a senior machine learning engineer and was looking for a job earlier this year. She had plenty of options before deciding to join the DHI Group.
There were a lot of open positions, a lot of recruiters reaching out, so it's a matter of sort of finding the right area that would be a good fit.
The demand for experts like Cortan is only expected to grow, as AI becomes integrated into more industries.
We will see a lot more engineering effort incorporating artificial intelligence into these business models, into the applications that are used by businesses, by consumers.
Many AI jobs pay at least six figures. Some corporations are offering AI executives $500,000 a year or more. Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Don't touch that dial. Melissa will be back with a look at some colder conditions headed our way. Public Eye News weather will be right back after this.
On Weekends with Yankee, adventurer Richard Weiss goes jack jumping.
That was fun for a first go.
Explores a winter wonderland and takes a llama for a walk in the woods. Yankee Magazine's senior food editor Amy Traverso follows in the footsteps of Julia Child.
Julia's favorite store.
Makes pasta with Douglas Williams and digs up a fall feast. All that and more coming up on this season of Weekends with Yankee.
Today at 5 on WNMU-TV.
Welcome back. I'm Melissa Santour here with your weather update. Taking a look at the campus roof cam, looks like it's a pretty cloudy, chilly day out there. Temperatures across the UP are pretty low, starting off in Houghton with 54. It is mostly cloudy. Ironwood 55, partially sunny. Iron Mountain's got some clouds at 50 degrees. Menominee, some showers at 53 degrees. Looking over at Escanaba, we also have 53 degrees and cloudy. Manistee 52 with some showers. Sault Ste. Marie, same conditions, 52 with some rain. And circling back to Marquette, it is 52 and cloudy. Taking a closer look at the current conditions, the winds are coming out of the south at 15 miles per hour, and the barometric pressure is 30 inches steady and falling. Tonight it will be cloudy with a low of 50 degrees and winds coming out of the south at 13 miles per hour. Tomorrow it's going to be some rainy showers with a high of 58 and a low of 48, winds coming out of the south at 12 miles per hour. Taking a look at the rest of the week, Wednesday looks like it's going to be 51 with some rain and a low of 49. Thursday 56 with some more rain and a low of 49. And Friday rain again with a high of 59 and a low of 42. That's all I have for you. Back to the desk.
Thanks for that weather update, Melissa. Looks like the cold and rain will be sticking around a little while longer. Moving on to our national news, oil corporation Chevron announced today that they will acquire the Hess Corporation, the gasoline-based giant in New York, in a deal worth $53 billion paid in stock, which will include major oil fields in Guyana and a share of the Bakken fields in North Dakota. This comes 2 weeks after competitor Exxon acquired Pioneer Natural Resources in a deal worth around $60 billion. Part of a recent trend of surging oil prices and allowing major oil companies to buy smaller competitors, Hess sold all retail locations of their gas stations to Speedway in 2014 and will now become part of Chevron's portfolio. Tom Hess, CEO of Hess, will become a member of the Chevron board. And as the Israel-Palestine war enters its third week, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin have stated the U.S. is, quote, ready to respond, end quote, if the U.S. forces or personnel come under fire. In a television interview, the pair stated that there's a significant prospect of escalation on U.S. troops by proxies of Iran. Last week, it was announced that 2 aircraft carrier groups would be deployed to the Mediterranean, which Blinken called a deterrent to hostiles against U.S. personnel. Yesterday, the U.S. announced that non-essential embassy staff in Israel should evacuate immediately. Israel has ramped up strikes on the West Bank in recent days, as well as strikes on 2 airports in Syria. Israel's defense forces say they hit more than 300 Hamas targets in Gaza over the past 24 hours. They have also begun limited ground raids into the Hamas-controlled Palestinian territory ahead of an expected ground invasion. CBS News' Natalie Brand has a closer look in her report from Washington.
Massive explosions could be seen in Gaza Monday as Israel steps up airstrikes against Hamas targets. This Gaza resident says last night was the hardest night so far, adding that he evacuated to an area in the south that was supposed to be safe. Nearby, aid workers sorted through a shipment of desperately needed supplies following a deal to let in some humanitarian aid to the millions of Palestinian civilians living in the besieged territory.
It's just a fraction of all of the humanitarian assistance that is actually needed over there.
CBS News has learned the Biden administration has repeatedly tried to get Israel to delay a ground invasion of Gaza to prioritize the distribution of humanitarian aid and the release of the hostages Hamas is holding.
We are very worried about them and about all the other 212 kidnapped prisoners.
Concern is growing the violence could escalate into a wider regional conflict. In the West Bank Sunday, Israel targeted what it says was an underground terror route beneath a mosque. And in Israel's north, residents evacuated as Israel continues to trade fire almost daily with Iran-backed Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
After this break, our very own Taekwon Cox will have a look on the ice and the field in your sports recap. Stay tuned.
Rescuers are using their bare hands, and you can see them throwing down blocks and trying to search desperately for survivors.
Small arms fire as well as this heavy artillery fire, which means that the Russian lines are very close.
This is as close as we've been able to get today to the explosion. It happened inside the police compound just behind me.
We break stories from more places than any other international news broadcaster. We are the leaders in global breaking news.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Taekwon Cox and this is Public Eye Sports. Starting off with some Northern Michigan hockey team. The Northern Michigan hockey team had a 2-game series last weekend against the Arizona State Sun Devils, and it resulted in them getting swept. On Friday, it was a tight game, with the final score being 3-2, and on Saturday, losing 5-1. The Wildcats are now 0-3-1 on the young season, but good news for the Cats. Redshirt freshman Tanner Lash has 7 goals this season and has a point in 4 straight games, which marks the best in the NCAA. He is a candidate for the Rookie of the Year award. Keep up the good work, Tanner. Michigan Tech also had a series this weekend against the University of Wisconsin and got swept. They lost 4-2 on Friday and 5-2 on Saturday. Kicking it over to soccer. The women's soccer team continues their win streak, winning their 4th straight game last weekend. In their last matchup, they played against the Parkside Rangers, and it went on to win 3-0. Jillian Thompson recorded a program record with 10 shutouts this season alone. After the game, she was interviewed and said, "We came out flying today and all fought for each other. It was a great win." Molly Pastores is tied with the most goals in the GLIAC, sitting at 10. The Wildcats' next 3 games are home, and they are in a good position to win the GLIAC with an 11-1-3 record. Good job, Cats. And switching it over to cross country. It was a great weekend for the Wildcats, finishing 4th in the GLIAC as a team. Sophomore Maddie Szymanski played a huge role for the Cats this weekend, finishing 8th individually in her event and earning first-team All-Conference. And freshman Ava Magnity getting second-team All-Conference. Szymanski finished her 6K in 21 minutes and 38 seconds, and that was the second best time posted in her career. Northern finished with 108 total points as a team and was just 5 points away from beating Saginaw for the 3rd place spot. Grand Valley won the GLIAC championship race with 15 points. Next up for the cross-country team is the Midwest Regional Championship, hosted in Evansville, Indiana on November 4th. Good luck, Cats. That's it for sports. Back to you with more news.
Thanks, Taekwon. Sounds like it was an eventful weekend for the Wildcats. And Northern Michigan Artist Discovery, also known as Nomad, is hosting their 2nd annual Halloween concert at the Witching Hour this Saturday. The concert will be in the Grand Ballrooms at the Northern Center with music starting at 8 p.m. Entry is free for NMU students with an ID, and the tickets for public will be $10 cash only. And NMU will also be hosting its 56th annual job fair this Wednesday. This is an event for students to meet with employers and learn about a wide range of careers with possibilities for future jobs. Employers are also welcome to recruit for full-time, part-time, internships, and summer positions. There's no fee to attend for students or alumni.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for you today on Public Eye News. I'm Bradley Seaborg.
And I'm Luke Niddle.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.
Thanks for watching Public Eye News. You can subscribe to our YouTube, tune in to WNMU Channel 13 every weekday at 4, or follow our Instagram at NMU Penn to never miss a story.